I cracked the rest of the One Piece final saga. Here's what you should expect next. So the big forces of the story are Shanks, Blackbeard, Cross Guild, the Straw Hats, the Marines, the World Government, and the Revolutionary Army. Those are the main powers that we need to keep in mind when predicting the rest of the story. So currently, we are on Egghead Island. The Straw Hats are there. Blackbeard is apparently pulling up, and the Marines now apparently have a gigantic armada arriving. Bigger than Marineford and bigger than a Buster Call. So I believe that currently, Egghead is serving to establish the Marines as a formidable force. Yes, we already know this, but since the time skip, the Marines have taken a few L's and we need to re-establish the big players. Regarding Blackbeard, however, I have zero predictions when it comes to him on Egghead, as we had barely seen him and he is the most unpredictable character in all of One Piece. Next up, we have to get to Elbaf and Shanks, as this has been established since the beginning of the story, so it'll likely be the next arc. At the same time, since Luffy and Shanks will be together during that arc, I would expect Blackbeard to be making big moves on some other island in the background. The reason as to why I'm saying this is because they would both be distracted. That would be two Yonko distracted together, and as we don't have much time left in the story, the arc afterwards would involve Shanks versus Blackbeard before the finale of Luffy versus Blackbeard. So in short, Elbaf next arc, Luffy and Shanks meet, Blackbeard makes his moves in the background on some other island. This guy is scheming, he's sketchy, he likes to do things in the background, especially knowing that Shanks is on the hunt after him. So whatever big scheme he has going on up next during Luffy and Shanks' meeting, I believe that that scheme will propel Blackbeard high enough in power to where it would allow him to defeat Shanks. And I keep talking about this Shanks versus Blackbeard fight, which by the way I do think will take place after Elbaf, during a say Cross Guild arc for example, because we do need to meet Cross Guild as well, since Oda established them in the story and it is the opportunity for Zoro to fight Mihawk. So while Zoro is fighting Mihawk in the Cross Guild arc, Shanks could be fighting Blackbeard on some other island away from Luffy, somewhere where he cannot help him and away from the main plot. So next arc would be Elbaf, the arc afterwards would be Cross Guild, Zoro versus Mihawk would take place during that arc, while Shanks versus Blackbeard is also taking place on some other island at the same time. After that, you could put the final war somewhere either before or after Laugh Tale. Me personally, I would like to see the Straw Hats get to Laugh Tale first and then do the final war, but I personally don't mind either way. So after this Cross Guild arc, we either go to Laugh Tale or we do the final war, which would involve all of the emperors, the marine forces, the revolutionaries, obviously the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, and all the allies that we've amassed throughout the whole story. Now finally, regarding the Revolutionary Army, where would I personally sprinkle them in? Well, here's the thing. I do believe that the revolutionaries will be established in Egghead as a formidable force that can stand tall against the Marines, the world government, and be a major player for the final war. At the start of Egghead Island, we saw Punk 01, Shaka. He told Dragon that they're about to kill him, and I would not expect Dragon to be okay with that since Vegapunk is his friend, one that possesses a lot of valuable information about the Void Century, information that would facilitate exposing the world government to the whole world. That's why sometime in Egghead Island, I am expecting Dragon himself to personally show up and stand in opposition against the world government and the Marines. So this arc would be the Straw Hats and the revolutionaries against the Marines / world government and maybe Blackbeard. The next arc would be Elbaf / Shanks, with Luffy and Shanks' meeting and Blackbeard making some big moves in the background that would propel him in terms of power. The arc afterwards would involve Cross Guild, Zoro versus Mihawk, and Shanks versus Blackbeard. And afterwards, you could either have Laugh Tale or the final war, one or the other, whichever you prefer. That's how I personally think that things will play out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you are subscribed. It would help tremendously for a small YouTuber like me. Besides that, let me know what you think about this video. The common question of the day is, what do you think will be first, the final war or Laugh Tale? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one.